It's round 13 of the series. It's the last race before the summer break. We're in Budapest, Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So it's the last race before the summer break here in Hungary. Then we go on to a triple header when we return in a month's time in August. Belgium, Netherlands and Italy form part of the three races, the last ones in Europe. Then it's the flyaways again in Asia with Singapore and Japan as well in early October. A 2-week break before a double header, United States and Mexico. Another 2-week break and then we go to Brazil and the season rounds out the 20th of November in Abu Dhabi. Max Verstappen leads the title now by 63 points to Charles Leclerc, 233 to 170. Sergio Perez is just 7 points back to Charles Leclerc now as well. Carlos Sainz is closing in on the battle, so is George Russell. Lewis Hamilton is in 6th, too far back on the board. Lando Norris is 7th along with Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas and Fernando Alonso is rounding out the top 10. Further down the board, Kevin Magnussen is 11th, followed then by Daniel Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda, all in a very close fight. Zhou Guanyu is 17th, Lance Stroll is 18th, Alexander Albon, the last driver with points on 3, Nicholas Latifi and Nico Hülkenberg, still no points. Latifi, the biggest concern there. Red Bull Racing lead the way on 396 points in the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari on 314, Mercedes on their own in 3rd on 270, Alpine of 93, McLaren 89, Alfa Romeo are just now ahead of Haas who are now in a battle with AlphaTauri, Aston Martin 9th on 19, Williams are now 10th, still only on 3 points. We're at the Hungaroring in Budapest, Hungary for free practice 2 at this great circuit. Let's take a look around this Hungaroring circuit here in Budapest, a 2.738 mile circuit, 14 turns and only one DRS zone down the start-finish straight. It's tight and twisty, described as Monaco without the barriers. On board with the Alpine then, that stormed to victory here last year. Head down towards turn number 1. Over 300 kilometers an hour in 8th gear. Flat out with the DRS open. In towards turn number 1. A heavy braking zone. Flick the car into the right. A double apex. DRS open again then as you run down towards turn number 2. It's downhill under the bridge as well. Triple apex second corner. It's easy for the car to ease out wide. Let it. It doesn't destroy the tyres. Through turn 3. 6th gear. Rise up, 7th gear, the top of the hill before turn 4, flick it in, 5th gear corner. Then at turn 5, it's a 4th gear corner, drop down again, rise up the hill. The track narrows down as well as you come in towards turn 6 and 7, 3rd gear corner, very tight chicane, absolutely single file. Through the Mickey Mouse section now at 8, 9 and 10, 4th gear, 5th gear, then back up into 6th gear as well as you're continuing to rise up the pressure as well. Try not to let the car go too wide here at the exit at turn 9, don't go all fields off the road. Drop down then, once again out of turn 11, now it's to move into turn 12, 3rd gear corner, back up the accelerator, sort of right about 180 kilometers an hour, round turn 13, a long sweeping double apex left-hander, turn 14, quite like the Nürburgring here as well, a long sweeping right with a double apex hairpin, back onto the start-finish line, and that is a lap of the Hungaroring in Budapest, Hungary. Here we go once again then. It's time for free practice 2 to get underway here for the Formula 1 Hungarian Grand Prix. It's time to get ready and to get into the atmosphere again. I don't know what's happening with our technology with the music, but we're at the Hungaroring and this fantastic circuit. But on the calendar now, it's the 30th running of the Hungarian Grand Prix as well around this circuit. It was on and off the calendar ever since 1986, but 35 years we've been here. It's not that bad at all. Elevation change 34.6 metres, 14 turns in total. Pirelli have brought the middling compounds as well, just to make sure we can handle with it. It's the hard white C2, the yellow medium C3, and the red soft C4 tyres in operation as well. And what a track it is. It's beautiful sunshine, track temperature 49 degrees, air temperature is at 33 degrees. And we're all set for what's going to be a very interesting session as well. Josh Plays alongside me in the commentary box as always for this session. But just a quick hello to David Croft, who's up in the commentary box for Sky as well, as he's got some guests up there as well.
Fighting Sebastian Vettel for the win. Yeah, I think it's a great track. It's different. I like the fact that, you know, if you look at all the modern tracks we've gone to, there's a lot of similarities in terms of these big, wide open tracks, big runoffs. This one, built back in 1986 for the opening Grand Prix then. The layout hasn't changed a great deal, a little bit in the last sector, but it's a nice, fun, old-school circuit.
What I would say, it's the big test so far of the new rules, the new regulations, allowing cars to follow closely, more closely, for longer. If we're going to get entertainment as a result of that, this is the place it's set up for.
Yeah, it's a good case study, really, isn't it? We had last year, like Karun said, cars just bottled up one behind the other, not being able to overtake. Even Lewis Hamilton, in the fastest car out there by miles at that stage in the race, really finding it hard to overtake the likes of Fernando Alonso. And it was frustrating for Sebastian Vettel. He was stuck behind Esteban Ocon. He was faster the entire race. So this time, in these cars, like you say, Crofty, it's a real test bed for them. Can we see, finally, closer racing, but more importantly, more overtaking on such a difficult track to do that?
And it's going to be a really interesting session as well. I was talking down there in the end zone. There is Fernando Alonso, 41 years old today as well, down there in the pit lane as well. And once again, I believe, Josh Plays, it's the 10th time he celebrated the event here at the Hungaroring as a birthday going into the summer break. Not bad, is it, to keep having your birthdays again and again at this circuit? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. I think he would rather have it at the Spanish Grand Prix.
Oh, yes.
As it is his home. But the Hungaroring, as you described it in the lap attack, it is described as Monaco, as the barriers down to Ted.
Dutch fans behind me, Crofty, and I wanted to show you actually how enthusiastic they are. And there's over there, Pete. Yeah, there's a great grandstand full of Dutch fans, and you can see the sea of orange. So the Orange Army are here, and you know they're expecting a really strong weekend for Max Verstappen. I don't think they think that the Ferrari are going to have the legs on Red Bull, and certainly Red Bull don't tend to think that they're going to have be beaten significantly. They might say that. We might have heard Christian Horner earlier on the weekend saying, "Oh, we think Ferrari have got the legs on us this weekend." Don't believe it. I think Red Bull know that they're in with a chance around here. But yeah, great atmosphere down here. The crowd on the hill behind me are all ready to go, and so are we with practice 2.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ted, as well. With rain in the air for tomorrow's practice session, which neither of us are on, Josh, thanks to other series keeping us busy as well. Megan Birch and Ian Birch were commentating through that. This is really going to be more crucial than ever, as it is green light on for the start of practice number 2 now. Away we go. So, question for you, Josh, really is, what are we going to see in this next hour of practice? How many long ones are they going to do? And how many qualifying simulations are they going to do? Depending now, it looks like mainly we're going to be working for Sunday.
Yeah, as you said, rain is expected and will be in the air for tomorrow and Sunday, I believe, looking at the weather forecast, you said?
Yep. Rain in the air for Saturday and Sunday. So wet quality confirmed. Whether or not it's going to be a wet race, it's 70% chance at the moment. But that's rising every other second because we're in a valley here in the middle of Hungaroring. We do have that precedent for just a pop-up climate to appear like it did last season, actually, where it started raining on the grid to come in as well. I'm just having a conversation in my ear. Someone's telling me that we might have something here. Jensen Button's here, I think.
Anthony Davidson.
Oh, Anthony's here.
What do you need to have a fast car around the Hungaroring?
A fast driver. I mean, obvious, no?
But we can't clone you. Not in 24 hours. Although, to be fair, we could give it a go.
He doesn't have a license anymore. No. He can't do it.
Really?
He doesn't. He did not renew his license.
Did you renew your license?
Yeah, I get it every year. I'm going racing at the Goodwood Revival next week, thank you.
Of course he is.
I retired for a reason.
Okay, so it's Crofty saying, make it out like it was something else we were listening to. Anyway, cars coming through, and out onto the pit lane, as well as our driver tracker is working with the correct one this weekend as well. As you can see, track temperature 49 degrees, air temperature 33. Now, at the moment, I did tell you we'll be announcing who's going to be in the commentary box alongside myself and Josh. At the moment, we have asked Matthew Owens, who is the lead commentator on USRN for Formula One, alongside myself as well. For the races I don't do, he steps in. We have asked him as well. He is checking to see if he's available as well. So hopefully Matthew Owens will be joining us in the commentary box for the Hungarian Grand Prix on Sunday. So do tune in, because it's going to be a great one. As well as Megan Birch and Ian Birch are off covering Formula E. Thank you for them, by the way, I must point out, to come in. As I can't work out where I'm getting all these notifications from on Discord. I think it's the chat on PSGL as well, who was saying something. Yes, it was as well from PSGL, who was I was just hearing that from as well, who had another great race last night. As we see, Danny Ricciardo scored points in consecutive races for the first time this season in Austria and France as well, as the drivers head out there. What do you make of that going then, Josh? Personally, it's a circuit I don't get along with as well. Every single esport race I've ever done around this circuit is incredibly hard, as that's one way to stay cool out there today with an air blower. I can't stand this track a minute because I can't get into a groove. It feels too disjointed. It's too messy, and I don't like it. I can't get a good race around here.
Yeah, it's we've had dramatic last year with the rain on the grid, which caused the massive pile-up and the one-car start of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, one of the weirdest, and if not the weirdest, starts in Formula One history. We had 6 cars in Indianapolis in 2005, now only 1 car on the grid last year. Times coming on the board though, Sainz 1:20.487, Perez a 1:25.67, Schumacher 1:21.412, Gasly goes third, 1:21.019. Alonso is coming out of the last corner now. What time's he going to deliver? Leclerc's fastest sector 1 and 2. Alonso goes top on those mediums on the 1:23.14. Verstappen next across the line to go top, 1:19.654 as well on the deck. So not doing too bad out there, as Albon does a 1:26.70 on the soft compound tyre. Leclerc goes faster, 7/10 faster than Verstappen. A 1:18.911 is his fastest time out there. So track getting very much in use quite quickly, as it looks like half our screen here this weekend, is it? Martin Brundle is down at turn 4. Martin.
Nice little segue there, Crofty, as always. And yes, I am up at turn 4. Cars going through here very, very slowly on their outlap. Now, this corner really hasn't changed since I did the first Grand Prix here back in 1986. What has changed is there's no gravel trap on the outside. In 96, I ran wide here and ripped all 4 wheels off my Jordan, broke all the suspensions. And now when you see them coming through here, they're in 7th gear. Not that one isn't. When they come through here fast, they're in 7th gear, doing 150 plus miles an hour, over 250 kilometers per hour. The reason I didn't do it in 7th gear is we only had a 6-speed gearbox. Look at the speed of the Mercedes. And then the energy going on at the bottom of the car, scratching the curb and the runoff area there. The bottom of the car is taking a real pounding. You can see inside the car, the car back in the car's dancing around as it's trying to get off those curbs. Red Bull there of Sergio Perez was very, very neat and tidy. But inside the cockpit, they must be having to make all sorts of micro corrections to keep the car on track. This flag marshal here is very critical, quite exposed as well, actually, because how often do we see cars in the race coming up into turn 4, absolutely side by side, and there's a little right kink on the way in to the corner, and it's completely unsighted when you're sitting on the side, on the floor of the car. You just can't see this corner at all. You turn in total blind faith, that it will stick to the road and will not spare off to the left-hand side. All the cars, I would say, behaving really well through here. The Red Bull, in particular, looked very neat and tidy. Let's just see one more car through here at speed. Hopefully something's coming my way, then I'll get it back to you, Crofty. But what's absolutely clear is they do not want to take any life out of their tyres until they have to. Traffic everywhere. It's so dangerous in that respect. But yeah, they're really, really coaxing their cars on the outlap. But I think we'll head off over to turn 13 now.
Thank you, Martin. Turn 13 is at where Mick Schumacher is coming in. So literally you go down through the support paddock as well, and you make your way to that part of the track. It's such a tricky track to get around here, as well, as you can see, because many of it is on the infield section, so you can only really get to turn 4 and turn 13 as a viewing point as well. So it's a long circuit to get used to here as well, as we come back up to the Combox Cam. With myself and Josh up here as well, as it's Ferrari 1-2 after the opening 8 minutes of the session. Leclerc's top, 1:18.911. Sainz second, 6/10 down on that time as well. Verstappen's third, Perez fourth, Alonso fifth, Albon sixth, seventh for Magnussen, eighth Hamilton, ninth Russell, 10th is Zhou.
So keep the temperature, Norris, 2.5, 2 seconds.
And that is Russell as this... Oh, and that's Schumacher getting around. That, Josh, is exactly what I do. Take too much curb at the chicane at 6 and 7 and just lose the car around. It's so easy to do there, isn't it?
It really is. And I'm thinking I'm going to be looking on the BeamNG forums and seeing if I can get a download of the Hungaroring so I can do that in BeamNG.
I want to see a video of that. You got. That's one of your features to do at one of these events. If you can get one, Spa. I'll give you the summer break. Spa. See if you can get that. I know we've got a feature coming up at Spa actually, which is a classic attack. Go on.
I've seen YouTube videos of cars on BeamNG going around Spa, so I'll sort it out.
Fantastic. And yeah, one of our features at Spa is a classical lap as well on Project Cars 2. It'll be looking at the old circuit of Spa and a 1960s Lotus as well, and trying to talking through some of the best points of that circuit and then properly going for a lap of a proper attack. That'll be coming up in the qualifying show. We're going to have an extended opening to Spa's qualifying show as well. I think it's going to be around about half an hour in length, maybe 40 minutes, can't remember. But it'll be the first race back since the summer break, so we've got so much to talk about when we get back from after into Spa. But here right now, it is a normal weekend for us with qualifying, short build-up, and then into the session. Don't forget, as I said, Megan Birch and Ian Birch will be taking you through that qualifying session of Formula 1 and then taking you through the action of Formula 2's sprint race as well. And hopefully we won't have any more problems with cables or anything, because Ethernet cable and Ethernet adapter was ordered last night for Megan as well. Here's Hamilton.
Suggest 1 click further forwards brake part.
So currently P8 to 1.9 to Leclerc P1.
1.9 to the same tyre.
Hey, Fem.
Yeah, it's funny.
Lewis is not happy there. 1.9 seconds to the same tyre. Hamilton has done a I'll need to sit down. What? It's not even telling me.
1:20.853.
Is that the correct time? Yes. Yes, it is. So 1:28.53 for Hamilton. Leclerc's done a 1:18.911. So, yeah, 1.9.
911, what's your emergency?
Lewis Hamilton's having a heart attack, I believe. He's not enjoying this at all out there. He wants to get into that top 3 battle, but to be 1.9 seconds off at the moment is just unbelievable as well. I can't believe it. You can't believe it out there as well. Keep your comments coming through. This is Hamilton.
So currently P8 to 1.9 to Leclerc P1.
1.9 to the same tyre.
Hey, Fem.
You just can't believe it. You absolutely can't. Going forward as well to see what's happening next. Just getting ready for some more items coming up as well throughout the pre-show. which is looking fantastic. And I'm just being told in my ear as well that watch out for a possible track limits warning in this session, because I think the drivers have been told, as my producer's telling me in my ear, the drivers have been told that if you go off the track 5 times and have 5 lap times deleted, you will be benched for a 5-minute stop-go. So in this session, that's a new rule. So if you get 5 lap times deleted in the session, you're banned from taking part for 5 minutes. That's an extreme way to navigate it. I think I've been told we saw that in the W Series this morning as well. So that's aggressive, isn't it, Josh? Don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, that really is. FIA, they don't like... Well, in 2021, they didn't like Lewis Hamilton. And now in 2022, they don't like track limits.
This is not great news. White line does define the track limits, as there's George Russell in that garage, which is tiny here. Ted to the pits.
Expectations are high at Alfa Romeo Sauber, as you just watched Valtteri Bottas there. They do have an upgrade on the car. It's around the floor area. It's not massive, but they're hoping that it will work for them. And Zhou Guanyu had something interesting to say, Crofty, about the car yesterday in the press or after the press conference in the TV pen. He was talking about how, do you remember early in the season when they were going great guns and he was scoring points for fun, and he had all the great rookie and all of that, and it's kind of stopped now. He said it was because of the car's weight. Zhou said that they started off significantly either on the weight limit or just under, did Sauber, the car, and then everybody else was overweight, and now everybody else has gone on, everyone's cars have gone on diets and have come down in weight. Then really that's put Sauber back in the sort of towards the rear end of that pack, of that midfield pack.
Because they've got the shorter wheelbase car, and they're the only ones that I think have gone for the shorter wheelbase and comfortably made the weight limit. But that's a very good point.
Yep.
A few kilos progression, the right side of the line from the other teams might have even things up a bit.
Zhou Guanyu was essentially, even though he's a rookie, was talking like a sort of dyed-in-the-wool Formula One driver, saying, we really need some upgrades to the car, because I'm not being able to show what I can do, guys, at the moment. It's like, good old Joe, he's really settled in well. But points are eluding him at the moment.
Sadly for Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah, thanks, Ted. Zhou Guanyu has not scored any points in Formula One since Canada. Scored 1 point in Bahrain, 4 points in Canada, 5 points to his name. He's 3 races winless. Right, let's have a word with our championship leader, Max Verstappen, who was talking to Ted yesterday, saying that the most important thing is to focus on ourselves. Here's what he said yesterday.
Not necessarily. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. You always know, even when you don't have a championship winning car, that you always have to try and score points and try to finish races. There is no difference in that. Maybe, other people always put that label on it. Suddenly when you're fighting for a title, everything is different, but it's not really. But mistakes happen. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone learns from it.
And that said, you've got a 63-point lead now. Obviously your experience is developing all the time. You've got a World Championship under your belt, but you are the hunted now. Does that at all change your demeanour, one iota coming to a weekend?
Not really. I mean, I've been like that for most of the year, also last year, and I always try to do the best I can. And I always say the most important thing is to just focus on ourselves and try to get the best out of the car and out of myself as well.
So, just coming on to that then, Josh, as well, with the fact is that we've got this strange situation now with Max Verstappen where he's 63 points ahead. We've got an uncertain race on Sunday. Last year when it was raining, as Sainz goes off the track there at 6 and 7, as he comes through, I think he had a bit of oversteer there. Do we see Verstappen taking DNFs after the summer break when Red Bull and Ferrari's flexi floor gets banned? So is that going to be a reliability issue coming forward?
Possibly, as we see the replay, and on board with the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly now. And that was turn 4, I believe, and
track
just
limit.
Going all 4 wheels and 1 track limit.
Yep, if it's 5, then you get benched out there as well, so that's definitely 1, and I think Sainz just got 1 as well. It's not really all that fair as they come back through. Anyway, 16 minutes into the session, and it's Leclerc fastest at the moment as Sky F1 go to an ad break out there, so we lose our TV pictures temporarily. Bottas, Stroll, Vettel and Tsunoda are the cars circulating out there on the circuit as things stand. I think that's true. As it looks like one of them is coming to the pit lane. Can't tell which one there. As we see, Hamilton's done a fast sector 1 and 2, but then boxed in sector 3 when he should have been on the pace. So he's given that one up. Leclerc was quick. 4 tenths ahead of Sainz, and they are 7 tenths ahead of Verstappen at the moment, which is good news. And speaking of Lewis Hamilton, he spoke to Ted yesterday as well about how his car's feeling. Now, we've heard him in this session saying he's 1.9 seconds off the pace of Charles Leclerc on the same tyre, and he's clearly not happy.
There's too much instability to turn 2.
That's Sonoda saying that he's having some problems to turn 2. Anyway, this is what Lewis had to say yesterday in the media pen to Ted Kravitz.
No, we can't say that we've turned a corner. We've been on the corner for ages, and we've been like progressing around it very slowly. You know, Silverstone was a great fight, and we've had really great consistency. I think in the last race we looked like we took a step back from the others, or they took a step forwards again, and so we were, you know, over a single lap had a deficit of almost a second. And then, but our race pace is a little bit better than our qualifying pace, and our reliability has been exceptional. So that's been very, very positive. We've also relied a lot on the others not finishing. Yeah. So, and I think that overshadows the fact that we still have a lot of work to do.
Starting to enjoy it more?
I'm enjoying it more just because I'm getting more, you know, in a much better place with the balance of the car, and a much better place with where we put the setup. Bono and I and the rest of the guys are definitely a little bit happier working with the car and starting to see some progress in terms of setup and those sorts of things. So, yeah.
There is Hamilton there saying that he's found a bit of progress, but I don't think he has, Josh, as he's so far off the pace right now as well. And Russell isn't doing much too bad either. He's 1996 off the pace of Leclerc. That's 1.996 off the pace as well. So McLaren, Mercedes not looking great here. McLaren aren't either, with the Mercedes powering it down 18th and 19th. This is a Mercedes thing, because we've even got, well, we've got Vettel 5th and Stroll 8th, so something's happened and they've all role reversed.
They really have. Hamilton and Russell, 14th and 15th, not the best, as Russell goes through the second sector through turns 8, 9 and...
Oh, here he is on the radio.
So low. I'm going to struggle to recharge this.
Russell says he's struggling to recharge the energy there as well, but he is on the lap time.
Yeah, he's had that problem before.
Practice one. This morning he was complaining about it.
And how have I just realised that there's corners 1A and corner 12A?
Yeah, it's technically a 16 corner. It's technically 17, 18 corners this track as well. But this is one of only 3 tracks where it's 1A and 2A as well, because it's different parts but the same corner. That triple apex classes itself as a different part of the corner as well. But it is always a fun one as we come back to live TV pictures. Go on.
It makes no sense.
This is George Russell now starting on lap time with an audio up lap.
Qualifying trim with the soft tyres. Turn your sound up, let's have a listen.
Yeah, here's the audio up lap then with George Russell. Enjoy it. We've got a yellow sector 1, and that's why Russell's had to back out of it. Something's wrong at sector 1, where the yellow flag has come out, and that's why Alexander Albon has come to a stop down at, well, that is a spin at turn 1, actually. They might have to red flag this one. Oh, they might, because of this, I think just there, I'd say virtual safety car might be an option, but he's trying to get it into reverse. He's got it going. Oh, he might just get away with this one.
Yep, green flag, and only Russell was out, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get it going. That would have been a red.
Yeah, it would have definitely been an immediate red because he wouldn't have been able to kick it back up. Talk us through what happened then, Josh.
Yeah, so coming down to turn 1 and just brakes and locks the rears and spins and is waves, well, kind of waves to the marshals. Here we go from an off angle, yeah, just brakes, locks up and and lucky to not go into the barriers.
That's not a driver error, that's a mechanical something or other. That's very odd. As soon as he hits the brake, the rear left locks up and just spins him round. It's like, You're cutting a leg off the opposite end of the
Up at the rear.
tyre.
That's the tyres.
They're gone.
Yeah, they are gone, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's that rear left that just cut him. Gone.
Is anything damaged? Yeah, my tyres talent.
Ted's down in the pits.
With their two cars. Landy Norris is about to go out, but I can tell you on Daniel Ricciardo, he's in the garage and they've just had the engine cover off. I think it was just precautionary, just to check something, but it's quite a labour-intensive operation. They've got to undo a load of screws, take the speed tape off, and then just check it, and the mechanics are just putting the engine cover back on again, but Ricciardo's going to go out. But yeah, it's soft tyres for Landy Norris, and here he goes. He's out of the garage now.
Who is this Landy Norris
there he goes,
you keep
another run
talking
for
about?
Landy Norris.
It sounds like some country singer from Nashville.
Landy Norris is driver number 4, according to the FIA.
Landy?
Do you not know that? Do you not know this?
Is this on the entry list?
No. If you go to the document from the FIA, which I've got here, Crofty, it's document number 12. New power unit elements for this event.
Yes.
Go to your computer, get it up, and Landy Norris has a new exhaust system. So it's car number 4. The exhaust system used by Landy Norris is one of the 8 new exhaust systems allowed. So he's fine. He's previously used 3, so he's on his 4th. Good old Landy is on his 4th. So I'm just reflecting what the FIA is saying, Crofty. It's not my fault. He's now called Landy, according to the sports governing body, who must be respected at all times.
Absolutely. Yeah. My new exhaust system.
Document 12 I have open. It says Lando Norris to me. Yeah, document 12.
The exhaust system used by Landy Norris is one of the 8 new exhaust systems allowed.
Mine says, oh, hang on, there is Landy Norris, there we go. Is the I next to the O? Yes, it is. So that's a complete typo error there, isn't it? I'll just screenshot that and send it into Twitter as well for anyone unsure what Ted is on about here. As well, at Joshua Birch 99. I wish YouTube would let you put photos in if you're the actual owner of it as well. In fact, Josh is going to save us here because I can put him on the bigger screen here as well and open up the graphic. So there you go, look. Landy Norris. It's just there as well. And he's got new control electronics, is it, Josh?
New exhaust system.
Oh, new exhaust system.
And Russell has said overall grip feels very weak. Were we thinking the same thing there, Josh?
We were, which I'm glad you said it because I was. It gives me a couple more seconds to tweet this document out as well to Sky F1 Twitter.
Shall I go through the running to give you some more time?
You can if I press button 9. There you go.
Okay, so Leclerc is top with a 1:18.911 with teammate Sainz with a 1:19.392 who is out on the track. Then Verstappen in the Red Bull a 1:19.654 followed by Russell a 1:19.711, Perez a 1:19.891, Vettel a 1:20.090. I think we'll all miss Vettel when he goes. Alonso, the birthday boy, 1:20.094 with Bottas a 1:20.302, Stroll a 1:20.454, and the top 10 ends with Latifi in 10th with a 1:20.488. 11th is Zhou Guanyu with a 1:20.541, followed by Albon a 1:20.615. And just to take your eyes to Norris, goes top with a 1:18.662.
Yeah, but he was way off the track, Josh. I had some massive oversteer at the last corner, jumped over the track. He'll have that lap time deleted from him for sure for exceeding those track limits. Ted, stand back in the pits.
Story about the removal of sausage curbs in Formula One, but this is crucial because you're right. It was Abby Eaton in W Series who broke her back on a sausage curb after being launched up at the W Series race in Austin last year. Christian Weir, a Formula 4 driver, also broke his back. And the same thing. And didn't we have in WEC, or was it another sports car race?
It was a GT race
at Monza.
Monza, yeah.
A horrendous role for somebody. Sorry, I don't know who the driver's
Anthony
name
does.
was.
He was commentating.
Who, maybe you do, Karun. Who actually rolled at the chicane in Monza because he hit a sausage curb broadside. So if that's the info you're getting, Crofty, I've been trying to look for this, seeing whether sausage curbs are going to disappear, then that is fantastic. Certainly according to Abby Eaton, who's been campaigning to remove sausage curbs. Now we just don't need them with these flatter cars, that people aren't riding the sausage curbs anymore because the cars have changed. There's been no need for them, and they're unnecessarily dangerous in some people.
They are.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Thanks, Ted, for that one.
Thanks, Ted. Alonso's gone into third place, but it looks like with a track surface slippery at sector 19, Lando Norris's time is still the fastest as well with a 1:18.662. But Lewis Hamilton is looking a lot quicker now at the moment as he approaches the line, a little bit wide, but 17th goes 6th, 1:19.547. He now moves within 0.8 of a second slower than Lando Norris, but Norris did set his time on the soft compound tyres, we must remind you, so he will have more grip out there. Leclerc is looking even faster at the moment in that second sector, Josh. He's looking quick.
He really, really is. In track limits out of the last corner, goes top with a 1:18.445, and that is, I believe, 2 tenths faster than the. Yep, 0.217 faster than Norris, who is currently in the pit lane, as Magnussen goes 11th with a 1:19.990.
Times are coming up. Martin Brundle's trackside at 10:13.
Turn 13, unlucky for some, as the old saying would be. Quite interesting, a very typical part of this lap is one of just 6 left-handers on the circuit. At the top there you can see turn 12, the right-hander, and the little kink on the way down, somewhat bizarrely, is officially labelled 12A. Not sure I've seen that before. And then into 13 is quite off camber. You can see how the track falls away. The track cambers in a little bit, and it's immediately in to the pit lane as well, if you want. And the Red Bull then of Sergio Perez. Now this track is only 57%, just over half of the lap is full throttle. There's so many corners. They say it's a bit like a kart track or a street circuit without any houses, what have you. It's certainly a busy street, isn't it, at the moment, as drivers are, again, very carefully preparing for their lap. And that Williams of Nicholas Latifi is going to meet a lot of cars in the last corner. The last corner is a particularly tricky one. So this is where we're going to see the traffic jams in qualifying. Depends how wet it is, of course. But a really good feel. Look at the crowd up on the hillside. I remember here in 1986, one of the airiest feelings I ever had on the grid. And I couldn't work out what it was. Then I realised it was the silent 120,000 people, most of them at their first ever Grand Prix, our first visit to what was formerly behind the Iron Curtain. Just the silence on the grid. And here I had a really bizarre experience in 1992. My Benetton broke down in practice. I was being towed back down here by quite an old car. There was a narrow gap in the barriers here, and he did a 90 right and just carried on, nearly took my head off with the tow rope. I was still inside the car because, as you know, a Formula One car can barely turn, has such fat front wheels, it can barely turn, and he didn't realise I couldn't follow him through the barrier. So all sorts of history and stories, but once again, the cars are performing absolutely beautifully. I'm not seeing lock brakes. I'm not seeing missed apexes. I'm not seeing cars slewing off into this rather impressive runoff area. These cars are working very, very well indeed. Back to you, Crofty.
Thank you, Martin. As we get through once again, this is Carlos Sainz at the top of the hill with the radio.
Traffic with this stupid guy. This is Williams.
Yeah, a lot of traffic at the top of the hill, and it must have been Nicholas Latifi. Yeah, we're both thinking the same thing. As it comes back through, Gwenwyn says, my take, I'd like to see Albon given another chance. Williams probably keeps him, but that's a start. Well, they probably will, but if I'm hearing correctly, Josh, as well, from what we've been thinking, Albon might be out in favour of Oscar Piastri, which I don't think is fair, because with Williams, I'm sure you'd get rid of the driver who you don't need to pay anymore, and that is Nicholas Latifi. Get rid of him.
Yeah, if they keep Nicholas Latifi, they're just asking for more damage and more money being spent, in my opinion. Get Latifi out and bring Austria Piastri in, who should have been in an F1 seat last year.
Right, we're going to open it up because we're going audio up lap with Lewis Hamilton. So follow him on the driver track, and I'll give you the lap count as well.
Hamilton's going to have another go on the soft compound tyre. So let's have a little listen to this.
Down to turn 1 then. Open up the DRS, slam it shut, turn it in. Around about third gear corner as well. Get on the accelerator. Second DRS zone opens up. Downhill towards turn 2 as well. This time it streaks into what is a very tight double apex left-hander as well. Swing back for a quick right at turn 4. Now rise up the hill again. 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear. Hold it in 7th at the top of the hill. Drop down to 5th. Flick the car to the left. Long sweeping right at the top of the hill at 5 and 5A as well. Double apex. 6 and 7 chicane is where the track really starts to snarl up. After a fast-flowing first sector, sector 2 is a lot more tight. 6 and 7, you hit the apex there, you'll spin off and into the wall. Now into the Mickey Mouse section. 9, 10, 11, 12 as well. All flows around in such a very tight apex as well. Can't go too wide through there. Don't go all 4 wheels off the road at 11. Downhill to turn 12 again. It's a very 90 right. A little bit of a lock up there as well. The front right tyre as well. Keeps all 4 wheels on the track, but has lost the lap time. Turn 13 again. Double apex left-hander. Inside curve, the same as it was back in 1986 as well. Last corner, a bit like the Nürburgring, just throw it in around the corner as well. Hairpin exit as well. Cross the line. Hamilton was 9th, stays 9th. He's 2 seconds off the pace. Not a bad lap time there. I enjoyed that. I like doing those audio laps occasionally as well with a good flow. As Peter Bonington, or Bono, back again after missing in Austria, was back in the French Grand Prix, and this one here as well, just watching on as we want to have another photo of Bono as we look at Tsunoda and Verstappen coming through. Not a bad lap there from Lewis, but made a couple of silly errors.
Silly errors indeed, as the Hasses are switching around. Verstappen on double personal best sectors coming through turn 13 now, or also known as the crypto corner. I think we can say this weekend, round the last corner, across the line.
And Verstappen goes 4th with a 1:18.728. So I'm actually impressed with the two McLarens. It seems like they've actually got pace there to stay 2nd and 5th. This is their fast runs for qualifying. And Norris is 2nd, Ricciardo 5th. This is a track that McLaren were thinking could give them an advantage, and it's only gone and done it. So are we on for another Monza?
Yeah, I believe been looking at some facts, and I think McLaren are the most successful team at the Hungaroring with 11 wins, I think.
I think you are correct there. I haven't got my notes printed out just yet because I have to write some of them by hand to try and save the amount of ink this weekend is taking up. I think you are correct there as well. But yeah, McLaren are the most successful team
warning, we need to put the Discord on lockdown. Here comes the little owl with all of the warnings and track limits. And
here comes Ted there in the pits.
The chap in front of me on the plane coming over the BA from London Heathrow to Budapest was talking about this rumour that...
2 seconds, Ted.
What the hell is going on at turn 1? Just cannot get round the corner without locking.
Bouncing issues, not helping. Don't know. What rumour is this?
This rumour in the F1 Twitter sphere, whatever that is, that somehow Sergio Perez's car was not the same as Max Verstappen's at the last race, and that would explain the performance differential. I did ask, like a good journalist with a completely straight face, asked Checo Perez this on Thursday, and he said, no, the cars were identical. So can we put that rumour to bed?
Okay, fair enough.
Good.
I didn't say they were running a different car, just it looked from the outset.
Yeah, reading between the lines, I gather the rumour was that Perez has had a different spec floor as part of the whole, raft of changes that supposedly Red Bull have to do because of this TD. I'm not a believer in that theory because of the lead times involved with producing a floor. If you think about when, let's say they would have had to do the modification when the TD came out, where you have to do the design changes, then sign off manufacturing.
Yeah, would have taken too long.
It would have taken too long. So I do actually think the earliest they could actually physically make that would have been for Spa. Right. So I don't believe that theory.
Anyway, Ted, what were you going to talk about?
Understeer. So always a keen observer of these things and hyper accurate as always. Anthony Davidson put his finger on it. It's understeer that's the problem for Sergio Perez. He's been on the radio slightly frustratedly, I think, saying to his engineers, look guys, the car has understeer and we're trying to fix it with our quote tools, by which I think he means the diff and everything, although Karun, you can expand on that. Look, maybe, I think his inference was, let's get into the garage, let's make a proper setup change and get rid of this try to get rid of this understeer by rather than try and fix it on the fly with the tools. What would the tools have been, lads?
So, yeah, a few things. Like you said, obviously you got brake bias to start with.
That's one of the
tools. The diff, a few options on the diff. You have the entry, the mid-corner phase of what the diff's doing, the exit as well. You can even have a high-speed variant of what the diff's doing, how open or closed the diff is, and that helps to either keep the car more stable or give it more turn-in, more bite and rotation in the corner. But also you can play with the braking kind of migration through the battery and the energy recovery. So you can use it like a handbrake effect, if you like. So it can help to pivot the car as you go through a corner like turn 13, for example, where Norris is now. If you're struggling with the rotation, and when you're on the brakes, just gently, the migration of the brakes can go from the front to the rear, or you can have it from the rear to the front, depending on your balance. So they're the tools, put it as simplistically as I can.
Okay, well, thanks, Ant. That's as simple as you can. Now, Croft is going to start talking gobbledygook out there as well. We've got 22 minutes to go of this session. Maybe finally we can come back to the Combox cam for a second while Ted explained to us that we heard at the French Grand Prix, didn't we, Josh, as well, that Perez's car was running a different floor. Apparently they were identical. Do I believe that? No. Do I know the fact that Perez's car was different setup to Max's? Yes. Why do I know that? Because the FIA documents instigated that Perez's car was on a different setup to Max's and a different floor. Schumacher's off the track and continued down at turn 12 as well.
15 behind.
So Perez was running something different that weekend in France, almost certainly. They needed to see how it did in race pace. As Ted's got more.
A game changer?
A game changer? Oh, that's a good phrase. You should use that one.
Maybe it's a game changer for Aston Martin.
Is this their rear win again?
I think it is on high downforce tracks. Karun was saying Singapore. They're going to work there as well. But they think top 10 for that week. And well, look, if they can get into top 10 in qualifying, that would assist in ridding some of their woes, which have come about because of poor qualifying in recent races. I don't think it's a bad car in race trim, that Aston Martin.
No, it's not.
Their qualifying has been woeful, isn't it?
Well, the one problem I always find with Aston Martin is pretty much what we keep having. I'll come on to main cam to talk about this, actually. The main problem I have with Aston Martin is their one and only ability to constantly make errors. And when I say make errors, I mean this in the greatest of respect, that they only leave about one brand new set of tyres for the race if they don't have made an error. Quite 9 times out of 10, they will go into the race on Sunday with no new tyres. What on earth is that strategy all about? Why does Aston not go in with a set of tyres? I've got no idea. Ted's got more news.
Brazil.
With the back the rear wing, will be useful. Lando radio.
Blast there.
We want to be mindful with curbs to protect this floor, okay? Be mindful with curbs.
That's the Hungara ring before. Anywhere without massive long straights, I would imagine it is very useful indeed. We've got just under 20 minutes to go of this session. And that Lando Norris time has stood up rather well, hasn't it?
It
To
has,
split
yeah.
the two Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz, Verstappen, the only other one within 3/10.
Let's hear from Lando Norris.
We want to be mindful with curbs to protect this floor, okay? Be mindful with curbs.
Yeah, be mindful of the curbs. Just do everything you can to protect it as well. Let's hear then. We heard from Charles Leclerc this morning in practice number 1 as we come through. As Josh, what is that you're on about with your microphone, Josh? What are you showing us?
This is a microphone cover. It's been protecting my GoPro camera, and because It's a square out. It's a circle on a square.
That's not great. That is not great. It's gone square. To be fair, that's what happens to mine quite a lot. In fact, maybe I should think about doing that as well, which is putting it on a... If I wanted a square mic cover, to put it on a square thing, but presumably since I put it on the round mic, it'll go a bit funny. Either way, that's your handheld. You should have black. Where's mine? Where's mine? Here's mine.
I do have a black one, but this is the only one I can find.
Oh, I see. Well, we do have a grey one somewhere, but ours is black because we decided that we didn't need the handheld cover when we're talking normally. But now we really want to get a custom one for our handheld mics. So instead of having pure black, we'll have our logo on it or something or other. And I want
because you did used to have the
brick
logo. Yeah, the brick one.
Yeah, we use the brick when we're trackside, but it's too big for these mics.
Yeah.
So you have to, instead of holding the mics up here or down there, you end up holding the mic around about here, and it bends the cables a lot. So we like holding our mics a bit like this. So we're looking to get a sound guard with our... I'm going to take that thing off because I'm damaging the cable. We're looking to get a sound guard with our logo on it, a square one or a triangle one with our logo on it, so it's easier to move around. And we'll send one over to you, of course.
This is a tiny cable.
What cable is that for your new handheld?
Yeah, that's a 1 meter cable.
To be honest, I've been after a couple of those.
Yeah.
No, we are checking it.
Yes, they are checking it out there. Yeah, the handheld mics are great, though. I do love them. I've always said, and I've always said it to you lot here on the YouTube channel, a lip microphone is the ultimate dream microphone. The Murray Walker mic, if you don't know what it is as well, it's a microphone that you put up to your lip and it sort of clamps around your face as well. And it's a lot good. It's a better microphone than the headsets as well. But I don't know. I don't mind using headsets, but I'm not a fan of them. As Josh has now got his other shields as well.
My dad has been on the hunt.
So we've got a red, a blue, and a black. That's what we've
I
got.
do have an orange one somewhere as well.
I've got orange somewhere. I've got a grey one somewhere around here, behind all here in the plethora of commentary equipment behind the curtain. As well.
Oh.
And speaking of behind the curtain, it's this race was the first
This is
one.
what they're meant to be like. This is the one that's been covering my camera.
So Norris on a hard is doing 24 8s, 24 7s on a hard. We'll do 8 laps on this and then 3 on a soft. 8 and then 3.
Yeah, not a bad lap time out there at the moment then for Vettel. He's down in 7th position, still having some good times up there as well as all the mic covers come through. There you go, black, that's better. Black one's better to come in as well. But fingers crossed as well, we are going to have a better weekend because after here today, of course, don't forget, straight after this session, you can join us for Formula E. Myself and Megan will be on the commentary team for that one. And I know Josh will be hanging around as well. Let's hear from Leclerc. Oh, it's...
Something wrong in fourth gear, it feels like the torque is very, very low with this mode. First time I ever have this, so...
Leclerc's got an issue.
Slow down and box.
And Leclerc is crawling in. He has an issue. That was at 18.10, so he's back into the pit lane.
No, we are checking it.
So Charles Leclerc in real trouble out here at the moment. So that's the race. Well, that's the session leader, but the guy who was leading the race last time out in France for hitting the wall with a driver error, he's now got a problem, and Ted's got news.
I'm waving because it looks like there might be indeed a problem. It's hard to read what's going on because the cooling fans have gone into the car, and now very slowly the cooling fans are being withdrawn. The fuel pipe was on, filling the car up, but I'm not sure whether Charles Leclerc is about to go out on track again. They found the issue, or whether he's about to get out of the car and call it a day. I think it's the former, happily for him. I think they've cooled the car as much as they can. They've just put some new tyres on, and happily, I don't think we have a gearbox.
Yeah, we just want to be careful on damaging the floor.
Excellent.
Thanks, Ted. So it looks like Charles Leclerc is going to be okay, and we'll head back out of the track. And it's not a problem that we have to worry about for grid penalties, as Gwenwyn says. Hopefully nothing that puts him into a grid penalty situation. As the situations are approving, with 13 minutes to go, are we throwing down to Martin? No, we're not. That's Ted out there in the pit lane, though, in 33-degree heat and track temperature 46 degrees as well. I tell you what, though, definitely picked the right career being a commentator. I would not like to be in the pit lane right about now. I would much rather be in the air-conditioned commentary box. Not that this commentary box is air-conditioned whatsoever, though. It gets really hot in here, and we have to bring a fan in.
So we have now got Alonso's first lap on a medium 23.4, so that was a bit quicker than you. Lance did a 23.8.
0.204 quicker, to be precise. Yes.
Alonso is faster than you.
Something that Vettel, luckily, never heard in his career, that Alonso was faster than him. Don't think he was actually racing together. Vettel and Alonso moved seats back in 15, the end of 14. It was that Japanese Grand Prix. I remember on the Saturday, standing in the commentary box ready for practice 3 and getting told 20 minutes before we went green that Sebastian Vettel was leaving Red Bull and Fernando Alonso was leaving Ferrari. Here's Verstappen.
These oscillations in turn 4 and 11 are a joke.
Okay, so
turns 4 is at the top of the hill and turn 11 is at the bottom of the hill. And he's having problems there. And Charles Leclerc is now leaving the garage, I'm delighted to tell you.
Oscillations in turn 4
he's hit the jack. He's hit the jack. He's left the pit lane and he's hit the jack. He's damaged the front wing. Leclerc's come out and he's hit the jack and they've left some things in the way and they caught up the front wing. He's going now, but what an embarrassment from Ferrari once again. Managed by clowns, in my opinion. Oh, Ted.
So it was partly the mechanic's fault, partly Charles' fault. The McLaren was coming in, so some of the mechanics were slightly distracted. And then the way Charles' positioned in the garage, he has to turn left a little bit in order to turn right to get the angle to actually go out, because there's a stanchion in the way. I don't know if you can see down to garage number 19. And he turned left a little bit too much and went into the stand. You can see it down here where the front jack has this little stand. So he normally just sweeps out and goes straight out. But trying to do a little bit of lefty before he does a little bit of righty, he hit the jack.
George, I'm afraid we need to manage PU temps plus 100 meters lift and coast. So urgent, green 10, position 13. Green 10, position 13.
And that's not good news for George Russell. We've just been told over the team radio, got to manage PU temperatures, so the power unit's getting hotter. It did that this morning and earlier on in the session, Josh, as well. So Russell's struggling out there with his cooling, and it's only Russell struggling.
Looks like Russell's engineering team needs to go to Specsavers or an Ensign school, a power unit school, should we say.
Do you know what? I've just thought, with one of those mic shields you've got, you should put it on your mic cover and then cable tie it across. Like, just put like that we've got. So just put it on and then duct thingy, not duct tape. What's it called? Those tape things, zipper locks, zipper ties, whatever they're called.
Cable ties.
Cable ties, that's it. Cable tie one on, and then you've got like.
Thing is, I've only got one black one, and then I've got red, blue,
4 position
grey.
10, blue 4 position 10. We'll need lift and coast for one more lap, and then we'll update you.
Choose the one that is worn the most and stick it on. So it's like the one that's got.
I found the orange one, by the way.
That'll be good for Zandvoort.
And for some reason, it's square, rectangle like the other one.
That's a weird one. We had one last year where it was cable tied on. Where is it? Well, actually, I've got a microphone. The backup headset's somewhere around here on the desk. Ah, here it is. Here it is. This is the ultimate backup headset, and we're trying to repair. Oh, I found the other lead. Megan needs this lead, actually. It's for talking to the audio later, so that's needed. Glad we found that. Yeah, this is the backup headset that you hopefully will never see me wear, because if any one of me, Megan or Dad is wearing this headset, you know that we're in problems, because this headset is only used if all three of us are together in the commentary box and one of our microphone headsets breaks.
The rates are very poor at the moment.
Yeah, if one of our headset microphones breaks and we can't switch with another person because we're all in the box, we would put this Microsoft headset on that used to do a lot of the MotoGPs. It's got no ear cups at the moment. But as you can see there, look, it's cable tied on, quite a big microphone. So I would put that on and you would see that instead over as well. So that's, and it can be worn on either side as well. So whichever way's easier.
The emergency battle screen.
Yeah.
The emergency headset.
Emergency headset as well. And we're trying to get this working actually as well for Megan. This is the headset we're trying to get it working, because if then Megan can use this on her laptop when she's solo, so I can keep the baby bus mixer in the commentary box. So that's one of our headsets.
On this? I'll keep you informed.
Lewis
Okay,
Hamilton.
it'll be one
that
more
one
lap
there.
on this tyre, please.
Yeah. The same bus mixer that Josh has got there, I've got up in the commentary box. Let's hear Lewis' radio.
Car's unstable.
We're just looking at the data now.
Well, to be fair, the baby bus mixer is designed for one person with one input and that, but with our extension leads, we can make it two. That's why Megan and Dad can use it. Basically, when that bus mix is in this commentary box, we connect it to the laptop so that Josh can hear the TV program back. So everything that we're saying, he can hear too and hear us clearly. And we've got the 18 channel bus mixer up here as well, which is 4 mic headsets as well, 2 plugins for audios. That's World Feed and laptop, and then we've got the talkback as well on one. So it's just all those faders. I'll have to do a commentary box tour. I did one a couple of years ago, but.
Feels like these next laps will be critical for the management as the overheating is kicking in both axles.
Come in, pit back. Win pit back.
Yeah, everybody loves the commentary box, and I need to do a proper tour, especially since we've updated it a little bit recently. Anyway, did you say this was your last race in your current setup? What's your setup going to be next week or the week after?
So basically, some of you might not know, but I have invaded the dining room table for the second time in the second house. So currently, I've got fastest sector speeds there, T-feed there, my main, I'll get a screenshot of it and put it up.
If you have a garage, just kidnap the garage. That's what I've done.
Literally, we do have a garage, but it's up there, and it's not attached to the house.
Neither is this one, to be fair. But I know what you mean.
But it's like you have to walk to it, and it's in like a row of garages.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah, best not. Lucky ours isn't attached, but it's still on the property. It's in the end of the carport.
This is my. What has happened there?
We're showing
this is
us.
my...
Hang on. Let me get the correct screen graphic on. Where are you? There you go. You're on full screen, Josh. You're on full screen.
Okay. So, this is on one monitor only.
Yeah. A YouTube
so
chat. Us.
YouTube stream and YouTube chat up there. Oh, look at that lovely screenshot I've got of me pointing and me just looking.
How did you pop this out on the YouTube? Have you done that?
A good old friend called Snipping Tool.
I see. Okay.
So, and then I've got you over there so you can wave at me and stuff.
Yeah, that's the camera angle as well. And usually that camera angle that you see... Oh, Russell.
And let us know if this is representative for you. We have an option to reduce the K power. What aspect? For the long run, if this is good enough for you. I don't really understand what the question is. Is what good enough for me?
The setup good.
Because you're doing... Oh, no, of course not. I don't want to be doing any.
George is sounding more and more angry as this day goes on. He's a bit fed up anyway. Continue on, Josh. Yeah, that screenshot, by the way, that's the camera that you saw earlier on the laptop. And usually that's with me and Josh. If Josh is talking as well, I'm usually waving my hands at something or other, or telling him something, or giving him a thumbs up to go.
Where it was, where was it? Last weekend.
Last weekend, yeah.
Iowa, I decided to lag, and I was talking, and then it took me a million hours to stop talking because of the amount of lag I had.
Yes, there was a lot of lag there. There was a battle for the lead, and you were commentating on another one, and I was going like, it's changed. Anyway, is that your OBS?
Yeah. So basically, I can, when I'm about to change something, I can just open up my OBS in the bottom left. So it's like now,
Back on. Where are you?
and now I've minimised OBS so I can see the chat now because I'm not needing OBS.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've got the same thing basically with OBS. That's how we control all this with all the fancy graphics. We really
But
need
you
to
have a
text,
million screens and I have 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screens I've got, which is
I once had
computer.
an 8-screen setup when I was commentating once with you.
Yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
Which meant I was superior.
Then we brought Megan's laptop in and Megan's iPad and my phone and just got the advantage. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's quite hard. In fact, the commentary box setup we've got is quite similar to what Sky have, which is the world feed picture, 2 timing screens, information page as well.
I also have 2 timing screens.
They're just easier. It's way easier.
Yeah, I have the F1.com one over there because it displays sector times.
Look, yeah, Leclerc's
way
off.
more clearly. Here's Leclerc, Josh.
Way off at turn 4, and that's his 3rd off the track we've had as well. So he won't be able to sit out the session with only 2:50 to go, but that's still not great at the top of the hill. Go on.
That's really not. So I have the one that displays sector times really easy, then I have the T feed, then I have the... It's really confusing, but when I go upstairs, back into my old room, which was the setup before...
Now, yeah.
One. I will literally have a whole computer just for race control messages, which that's why race control messages is returning.
Yeah, it's so complicated, all these setups as well. We literally do so much over the weekend. It's unbelievable. Timing screen. Well, I've got... There's a monitor here with a second computer that has a timing page open, as well as the YouTube chat. That's on the second screen so that we can get it onto the OBS. But that's my timing screen because it's closest to me to quicker look at. Then there's another timing screen down here, which shows just the timings. Because on the one we've got, it shows the little line about where the drivers are and which sector they're in. So that's handy for me, because I can't see the driver tracker to tell me where it is when I'm looking at the timing screen, so I know who's next coming to the line. Megan and Dad have another bigger timing screen so that they can see it zoomed in. Driver tracker in full is on a monitor directly below the commentary box, and on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, that's where Josh is. That's where I can see him. So he's literally directly below the TV screen. Then we've got the laptop open. That's got YouTube Studio open and Mixler and Twitter and things like that open. Directly below that, we've got the iPad. That's got more timings on for me and a backup driver tracker. And crucially, that's where you hear all the radio, which is now with Norris.
Stay mindful with the cars. We want to protect parts. Yeah, I am. If I'm not, then tell me where I'm not. But I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that gives us all the information like black and white flags and that lot, but Josh is usually on that as well because we're looking at the monitors a lot. And then we've got notes all around the desk and our headphones and bus mixers, so it's a very messy system. We've also got an on-air light as well, a cable tied to the TV mount because the TV is up in the air because that's where the camera is on the top. So we've got a proper, like you see in schools, TV stands that we can wheel around, a bit like the SkyPad stand. That's what we've got as well. So the TVs can go sort of side by side with each other. And then it's just easier for us. And it's at a height where if you stood up, you're not having to look up or look down. You just have to sort of look at it straight ahead. So it helps with the neck as well.
The on-air sign is somewhere.
Oh, yeah, you've got one now as well, haven't you? I forgot that. Now you've got that extender for things. You can have it on as well. But, yeah, the on-air light is also good because for us, and as the checkered flag comes out, the on-air light is at an angle where if you walk into the side of the commentary box, people can see if we're on air or not. So if it's red, they don't walk into shot unless they're part of the commentary team or unless we've asked something to come in as well. Session is over then, and no one's improved for the last 15 minutes. Gwenwyn says it's going to be a lot of fun having lots of lap times deleted this week. Well, it's a wet qualifying tomorrow. There it is. That's exactly what it is. The on-air light. Me and Josh have exactly the same one, as many of you do actually, and that is what we have on. So when we go live for the sessions, it flicks on for us as well with the power decks as well. And then when we're off air, we can switch it off. I believe they've got a chip in them actually where you can connect them to OBS, but I haven't tried that yet. So when you hit start streaming, it should go live, but I need to look into that. But either way, I've got no room to attach it to the computer, I don't think. But yeah, I think as soon as you hit start streaming, it's quite good. Checker flag is out then, session is over, and everyone's already taken it. So it's Charles Leclerc top, Lando Norris is second. That McLaren seems to be having genuine pace. Carlos Sainz is third, Max Verstappen fourth, Danny Ricciardo fifth, Fernando Alonso is sixth, seventh for Sebastian Vettel, eighth George Russell, ninth is Sergio Perez, 10th is Valtteri Bottas, 11th is Lewis Hamilton, 12th Zhou Guanyu, 13th Esteban Ocon, 14th is Lance Stroll, 15th is Pierre Gasly, 16th Kevin Magnussen, 17th Mick Schumacher, 18th is Nicholas Latifi, 19th Yuki Tsunoda, and 20th is Alexander Albon. If you're wondering why I'm going through them now, it's because we are on a quick off due to Formula E starting in 13 minutes time and our show starting at 10 past the hour, so that's why we're waiting on that one as they're going to do their practice starts. Good session there, Josh. The McLarens look good, Ferrari look good again, Red Bull struggling. What's your take on this session?
And also Mercedes struggling with their pace.
Bang on, yeah. It's looking fun. Who's your pick for pole then? That's the question. Who are you going to take for pole?
I want to say it's a bit too early. It's only a Friday, but Leclerc, here's Hamilton going way off. Well, not way off, just way. Not way off, just way off.
Yeah, he's off.
At turn 4, at the top of the hill, and a lot of sparks and a lot of bouncing there.
My goodness me, that's a big one there. Yeah, Gwenwyn's definitely right. We're going to have a lot of these problems coming to this one. Practice starts taking part then. George Russell getting away. So is Sebastian Vettel. Valtteri Bottas is next up as well. I like the practice starts of the grid, as Crofty just said as well. I like them in Formula E, and I'm glad they've come over to Formula 1 because it just makes sense to do your practice starts at the end of the session on the grid. Makes perfect sense.
It really does, and it's and it also makes sense what Formula E do. They do the light system as well.
Yeah, so everyone gets a proper go at the lights as well. Here, you just build up your revs and do your own start procedure. But hopefully soon. They're learning. Fans in attendance there as well. McLaren fans, give us a wave. Hello, everybody. Overheating Red Bull at the back there. Is that Danny Ricciardo? It's Danny Ricciardo. There's the Red Bull coming through now in the back.
That was...
Yeah, it was Ricciardo.
Perez, maybe. No, Ricciardo's just left the grid.
2030 net zero as well seems to be the campaign promise as well, which is more great news here from the session. Well, it was quite an entertaining one, I would say. Definitely got to improve it ahead of tomorrow. Charles Leclerc ends the session fastest. My thanks to you, Josh, for joining me for FP2. I'll see you for FP3 tomorrow morning as well, if my guest doesn't turn up, because they are actually racing this weekend. So possibility they're not going to. But I know they're going to be here at one point in the season, as they messaged me about the time, and I let them know quite last minute, so probably won't. So I'll see you probably for FP3 tomorrow as well. My thanks to you, Josh. My thanks to all of you at home. We'll be back in 10 minutes' time. Myself and Megan will strap ourselves in for Formula E at the Docklands circuit as well. Thanks for your company here today. It's Charles Leclerc, the fastest. Lando Norris second at this tricky circuit in the Hungaroring. McLaren seems to be finding their feet again. Wet sessions tomorrow. I'm sad I missed qualifying. Excited to see what could be. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.